Alright, yes guys, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Leicester City Career Mode Part 52, I believe this one is. We're starting it off in the Champions League, the 6th game of the group stages. And you will remember we obviously beat Lokomotiv Moscow in the last episode, which means that we are through, not only through into the knockout stages, but we qualify top of our group. No way of us going down any lower, which means in this game, you'll see from the lineup that we go out with, I have pretty much just rotated the squad quite a lot. It's not really an important game for us at least. Bayern Munich still have a lot to play for. They're bottom of the group going into this match. Porto third, so they do want to beat us to get through into second place. And to be honest, to tell you at this point, I don't actually know what happened at the end of the group. So in the next episode, I'll try and remember to show you what happens in terms of this group. Most of the highlights in this match are just goals. Obviously, I've shown you 2 highlights already. None of them are goals. But I feel like the rest of them are just goals, obviously, because this game really isn't important. No need to show you all the highlights in it. 64 minutes in. Brad Hollis, one of the youngsters who we did bring up and give a chance into this match, into Sotiris Ninis, who scores a beautiful strike from outside the box. Sotiris Ninis is the type of player I kind of feel sorry for him because he hasn't had, I believe this might even be his first or second appearance of the season. Doesn't really get much game time now. When I signed him, it was with the hope of him getting a few games and being a regular, to be honest. But with players like Holtby and now players like Arnautovic and Torvan, there's really no space for him. But when he does play, he usually scores or gets an assist. He does play quite well, but he's just someone who's not really one of the first names on the sheet, or even second string names on the sheet, to be honest, which is a little bit tough on him because, like I say, he usually does play well when he gets games. But now you see Jamie Vardy just got a goal. Simon Randall into Harborough, 2 youngsters who are getting chances in this match. He squares it across to Jamie Vardy. Jamie Vardy finishes 89 minutes in. We caught them on the break as they were trying to push. So what we do know, after beating Porto 3-0 in this game, Porto certainly didn't qualify, so it's basically between Moscow and Bayern Munich. Whoever won that game will go through, and I'm assuming it would be Bayern Munich. But obviously, Bayern Munich, bottom of the group, so you can't just assume because they're Bayern they went through. I'm not sure, but a big bit of news right here. I've read somewhere about youth players that when you do call them up, some of them do get a boost in height. And obviously we were waiting for Van Hove to grow, which we was going to wait till next year. But after I read that, I thought, let me try this out and take a risk on Van Hove. I did call him up and he did grow from 5'6" to 6'1", which is basically the height that I did want him to be, around that area. He's the same height as Fabian Schär now, which gives you a little idea of how tall that is. So perfect. That's exactly what we wanted. I didn't really want to wait another year to call him up because he is looking very good right now. Call him up 16 years of old and he's 67 overall, so he's definitely one for the future. If you don't remember who he is, he's 91 to 94 potential. So that's basically all you need to know. He's going to be a beast. So I'm just glad we were able to call him up right now, get him straight in. He won't be starting too many games right now, but maybe we'll get him out on loan. But he'll definitely be one for the future, especially once he cracks into the 70s. He'll get a lot more games. So that's one to look out for. 9 minutes into this game against Manchester United, however, Stevan Jovetic steps up and scores again. He's really starting to flourish now in the Leicester City shirt. We've signed him at the start of the season. I've said this in almost every episode probably. He started a little bit slow, but he's really starting to pick up now, scoring goals. 25 minutes in, 1-0 up, and we're really just not afraid of any teams we come up against right now. In past seasons, when I played against a big team, the Chelseas especially, and Everton, teams that used to give me some trouble, we used to play a bit more defensive. I was a little bit worried, thinking they're going to counter me and their players, and it did happen. And I think that is a lot down to the fact that I was worried and I played a bit more defensive. The formations were changed. But in this game, and the recent games against Chelsea, you've seen we've beat them a few times recently. We're just coming at them, attacking them, and it's working. Stevan Jovetic there, after some beautiful play from Tin Jedvaj down the right hand side, squares it to Jovetic, and Jovetic just megs the keeper. Close your legs, mate. Beautiful finish from Stevan Jovetic. He gets his second of the game. 66 minutes in, Arnautovic squares it out to Jovetic with the through ball. Jovetic comes inside, gets some space, and smashes it into the back of the net. Stevan Jovetic points to the sky. He's got another hat-trick. He has another hat-trick, is what I was meant to say. His second hat-trick in, I think, 2 episodes. Definitely is at least his second in 3 episodes. I'm not sure when his last one was, but it is very recent. That's a beautiful strike you see from this replay. He hits it perfectly. That's the animation you always want when you're striking it from range. He gets it top corner, and that's just a beautiful strike from Stevan Jovetic. And you see, he comes off in the 70th minute, not too far after that goal. Gets his standing ovation from the Leicester fans in the corner of Old Trafford. And Man United just not looking great right now. Mata slides it through, however, into Ander Herrera. 84 minutes in, Manchester United were able to get at least a consolation out of this game. At the start of this match, I was looking at their lineup and I saw Nick Powell in there, and I was thinking, please, as long as he doesn't score against me, I'm happy. And when they scored that, I was looking at that and I was thinking, that's fucking Nick Powell, isn't it? That's fucking Nick Powell. But thankfully, it wasn't, because Nick Powell is just shit. I don't even know why he is in the Premier League. Like, someone get him out. I mean, he isn't really, because he doesn't really get any games. He's probably loaned out right now, but he's a terrible... I mean, he's not terrible. He's probably championship quality, but, like, come on. Why is he at Man United? Why does he always get games on FIFA as well? But, regardless, we are out of here. We get a win. Stevan Jovetic picks up the match ball again for the second time in his short Leicester City career. He's the first player to actually score 2 hat-tricks in one season for Leicester in this series. And we get a 3-1 result against Manchester United at Old Trafford. It's a brilliant win. In front of Sir Alex Ferguson stand, Stevan Jovetic walks off with a match ball. He might end up having a nice collection of them by the end of the season if he keeps playing how he's playing. The third goal especially, beautiful strike. That would definitely go into the goal of the season award for the end of the season. But you see, just before we get into this game against Stoke City, there's some rumours flying around still about, I almost said Stevan Mahrez, about Riyad Mahrez. Still not sure about his career. Players swooping around, planning to make a swoop for him, and we don't know what's going on, because I still haven't had any messages from Mahrez. He ain't said shit to me, so I'm not sure. We don't know what's going on. I'm not planning on selling him. Maybe the board will force me to sell him. We don't know. However, back to the game. What a ridiculous mistake right there. Ben Hamer again. We saw the mistake he made against Porto a few episodes back, maybe 4 episodes back now, where he came out to collect the ball and it just went over his head, more or less. He dived for the header and missed it completely. It's more or less the same thing that happened here. Pause. Let's just notice the fact that Shaqiri completely put Bruma on roast. He completely rinsed him down the right hand side. Just not fast enough to keep up with Shaqiri. Put a looping cross in, and you'll see that I didn't actually jump with the defender because I was pretty sure, I was 99% sure that Ben Hamer would just catch it. He didn't even attempt to, and it's headed over his head. But please take a second to admire the beautiful goal scored by that man Riyad Mahrez, the guy who's all over the news. He's got the ball out on the right side, gone past 1, burst past 2, and then he's just used his speed to go around a 3rd and a 4th, I believe, as well. And then he's just smashed it past the keeper, not able to do anything about that. Stoke can't handle Riyad Mahrez, and he draws us level after the break. Riyad Mahrez is having a brilliant season so far. He's had a little bit, he scored the just burst of goals he had in a row, and then he had a little bit of a period where he fell off, and now he's got another one back on the score sheet. That's his 6th Premier League goal of the season. And then again, another moment to just take a look at. Go back if you didn't notice that, and look at how Arnautovic got completely roasted by Jonathan Walters. Like, I don't see a speed difference in them. I'm not even talking about stats, but they're not very different in speed. I don't know why Walters, because Arnautovic had a big advantage in terms of like a head start, and Walters just caught up and then just burnt him, just left him in the dust. But I'm looking at this Stoke side as well. When this happened, I looked at the name and I thought, wow, Stoke are actually making some good signings in this career mode. Like, the type of signings you'd expect them to make in real life. I never thought they would actually, like, in career mode, the CPU teams really don't make that many good signings. And that many signings alone, to be honest. But Anwar Al Ghazi is a decent signing for Stoke to actually make. I didn't expect to see players like that being signed at all, to be honest, because that's not a scripted transfer that I've seen. So I always like seeing transfers that aren't scripted, and that makes sense. But However, Stevan Jovetic, again, he's probably got about 5 or 6 penalties to his name this season alone. Like, he's scored. We've got a lot of penalties, and he's not the only one who scored. Mahrez has scored a few penalties also this season. We just managed to be getting a lot of penalties. However, just before the end of the game, Leonardo Ulloa, the player we sold to Stoke City this season, just wide with a good header. They're putting his strength in the air to good use. He's a decent player that they could sign, to be honest, with the way that Stoke like to put the ball in the box. Obviously, they play better football this season, but they still do put it in the box quite a bit. So he should fit in quite well. But he didn't score because he doesn't score. Decent player, but, you know, pretty much one-dimensional. So we let him go. We came out with the win. Training players like Basut again. And you get one look at the Premier League table at the end of this episode. We are only 3 points behind Manchester City still. Didn't lose in the Premier League in this episode. And obviously Manchester City didn't lose in the Premier League. In this episode, still the highest scoring team in the league. But look at the goals we've conceded. We've already conceded about 10 more goals than we did throughout the whole of last season. So the changes that I made in terms of sliders are definitely making the game harder, which was the plan, because I did not like conceding so little goals last season. Before the last episode, I think I'd only conceded 8 goals all season, and that's just ridiculous. It was way too easy to keep clean sheets. The episodes were getting kind of boring, I could feel, and playing it even, not conceding any goals. Not even conceding chances was what was happening. Like, they couldn't even create chances, and that was getting a little bit boring. But it's looking a little bit more difficult, which is interesting. I like that. So, if you did enjoy this episode, make sure you leave a like, maybe. I don't know why I said that. I don't usually ask for likes. If you did enjoy the episode, leave a like anyway, because I already said it now, so do what I asked. Bye.